4 o'clock. So I'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, everybody. Sure, more people can stream in as we go. Thanks so much for being here and sharing in this energy with me. Happy solstice to you. Longest day of the year if you're in the northern hemisphere, shortest day of the year if you're in the southern hemisphere. But either way, we are all going through a solstice portal. And this one has really been supercharged, in my opinion. I think both solstices in the past year have been really incredible. The winter solstice for the northern hemisphere would have been southern for the um, summer for the southern hemisphere. That one was really a great opportunity to release a lot of energy and start connecting into these amplified earth energies. Now that we've been in those amplified earth energies for a good 6 months, we are continuing to release a lot. But I would say instead of just releasing, what we're doing is we're restructuring our relationship to some very old paradigms on this planet that have been used to really get humans to do the bidding of a very few. So, getting the masses to really behave a certain way and to participate in a whole system and an economy and really working in particular ways. The whole thing has really been orchestrated by a very few. And what we're doing now is that we're seeing that many individually are restructuring their relationship to the power structure. And that's really what this amazing solstice is all about, because we are the reflection of what is going on with Earth herself. We as humans are souls who have come to be part of Earth's awakening, Earth's experience. Maybe better than saying awakening, because I think Earth has always been an awakened soul, would be to say her evolution and her shifting from a dualistic uh, density, third density, and moving into one that is far lighter, far more less dense and more open and free. So as she's moving into greater freedom by increasing her frequency and moving into higher densities, we are going along with her. Especially for all of you, I'd say congratulations to all of you. You're awake, you're aware. You're doing 90% of the work just by being awake and aware. That is really the main thing that is important for all of us right now. And the other main thing that I really feel is super important for all of us right now, which is what we're going to amplify today, is our connection to our heart energy, our soul energy. It's to the earth and it's to the cosmos. So oftentimes I emphasize the relationship between us and the earth and also us and our soul. But it's also very important that we have a really strong relationship with our sun, or our sun is really a representation of the greater cosmos. And so you can call it cosmos or sun or all that is or source. Really, it's all the same thing. It's that amplification of energy that draws us or magnetizes through the journey from duality to oneness. And that is what is really getting supercharged right now is, or you could say accelerated, is the Earth's journey from duality to oneness and ours along with her. So as we go through this process, there's a lot of things that have been coming up, and each one of us has our own personal relationship to the power structures, either on the grander scale in our lives and our livelihoods, also within our families, within our own personal relationships, and with your own relationship to yourself. So your relationship and idea and belief system around power and the amount of power that you hold within you, that is all up for renewal right now. It is all up for reintegration and restructuring. And that's a really exciting thing for humanity, because humanity has really not been in the driver's seat of connecting to their own power, and instead is really we've really been giving our power away in many ways. And one thing that's very important to do right now is to think about your life and look at all the different areas of your life and notice if there are any areas in which you are giving your power away. And I should define what I feel as powerful versus power filled. So, the journey of becoming powerful or power filled, I should say, is one of um, not of creating so much power that you are better than or dominating others. That is really the old way of doing it. Becoming power filled is when you have a very strong connection to your own soul energy and to spirit. When you are connected to your guides, when you're connected to the earth, when you're connected to the cosmos. And the cosmos really can mean your angels, it can mean the ascended masters, it can mean your relations and your star family. It can also mean, gosh, any number of guides that are in the higher dimensions from where we are right now, because they serve as basically an example of and something you can reflect back to you of where you're headed and where you're going. And so they are great mentors. Um, and we'll talk a little bit about that, and we're going to be making that connection in a little while in the meditation. The soul energy, which we talk about a lot when we're together, is very important to connect to right now more than ever, because that is where you're going to find your greatest peace right now. That is where you're going to find your solace. That's where you're going to understand how to believe in yourself. And that's where your power will come from within. It'll come through your heart and it will fill you up. So, having a good connection to spirit makes you feel power filled. Having a good connection to soul makes you feel powerful. You feel confident. You feel true to yourself. You feel full of life. And that is something that's just a natural byproduct of being connected to your soul. And then the last, of course, is being connected to the earth. As humans, we really do come here to be part of her story, to be part of her journey. And so to be disconnected from her is really cutting yourself off from one of the main sources of power here that is available to us. Being connected to her not only brings you into a state of equilibrium in your energy field, because our energy field, our biology, everything about us, all the elements that make up our physical being come from her body. So if you want to vibrate in accordance to and in equilibrium with the environment around you, then having a strong connection with earth can really help that. And when you feel balanced and equilibrated, then you also feel like you have a good launch pad and you feel safe. And that can also help you feel more power filled. So, all three of those things really amplify the power within you. And one thing that's, as I was talking about, what's occurred to humans is that different parts of our energy systems have been, you could say, hijacked, have been dampened, have been de emphasized. We've not been taught as children that it's important to focus on honing and developing our intuition. We haven't been taught some of the basic skills of, I would say, an awakened and embodied human being that would make life so much easier for so many if we were all had these basic skills that we, as we become older, typically, and I know the young people that are coming in now are starting to do this very naturally, or they're just naturally gifted with some of these skills because their DNA vibrates differently. But for those of us in the older generation, we had to learn, or you could say relearn, these skills, because it is definitely part of our soul experience. But we have that amnesia when we come here, and we have to relearn that stuff. So as the earth ascends in her frequency, that's no longer required to come into a dualistic system and shut yourself off from all of the experiences you've had in the other lifetimes. That is starting to change too. So, one of the things that you will notice because of that is that you might have some past life recall start to happen. You might start to have very vivid dreams, and the dreams feel very real to you. And that's because there's a lot of bleed through from other lifetimes coming into this current lifetime. And that bleed through is really a sign for you to address something that wants to be reintegrated in a new way in the new energy. So, the many lifetimes that you've had as a soul on earth have occurred in different energy fields. They've occurred not necessarily in always a lower energy field, because if you were here during the time of Lemuria or Atlantis, then you were in quite a high frequency or high energy field of the earth, and you were working with energy at that time and understood how to work with energy. And so could have been quite advanced. But since that time, the last 13,000 years, humans have not come with a brain that is intact in its memory for understanding how to work with energy and how to be at your best. And so, what I want to do in the meditation today is go into the area of our brain behind the prefrontal cortex. It's this area behind the prefrontal cortex and between the pineal gland. And I'm continually brought into that area by my guides to work on doing some clearing and some expansion of energy there. And that's going to be the first stop because that's going to help us to gain a greater awareness of and connection to our cosmic family, whether it's your star family or the ascended masters or angels or what have you, whoever it is that you would like to send a clearer and cleaner frequency out to, and also receive one back, that is going to benefit from doing some clearing in there. So we're going to use the golden mean spiral to go into this chakra in the brain. This is another chakra that we have there. And that will amplify energy, which will affect the prefrontal cortex, which is our executive reasoning center of the brain. That is where we really make decisions from and organize our lives. And also, the way I've always been told from the guys, it's really the organizing factor of how we view ourselves and how we think of ourselves in our environment, how we relate to that environment from our brain. And then it also will affect the pineal gland. And the pineal gland, of course, is where it's the divine signal transducer, I call it. It's where we make that connection into the divine aspects of our soul energy as it relates to and integrates with our brain, which is our very powerful supercomputer. But we need to remember that the brain is a tool, except that most of us have most of our attention and awareness firmly rooted in the brain most of the time. And what we'd like to do is we'd like to shift that down into the heart. So we're going to travel from the brain down to the heart through the interior of the body. And then we're going to work in the heart and we're going to expand the frequency there, again, using the golden mean spiral to open up that chamber in the heart. Spend some time in that chamber, opening that center and working with the eighth strand of DNA to release any soul fragments of, I would say, an imbalanced relationship to power, so that you feel that not only are you capable of being power filled, but you are deserving of that, that the old stories of your past lives are ready to be laid to rest, that it's okay to let them go. You don't have to carry those forward anymore. That will help with those dreams if you're having them, with those more acute experiences you're having that have you reworking your ideas and beliefs around your own power and your relationship to the people in your life who you have ever been in a power struggle with, or even it can be very subtle. It can be between your partner, it can be in a business partnership, it can be in any kind of work dynamic, any kind of relationship dynamic that you're in, or really any dynamic that you're involved in with, even with your own spirituality, even with the greater cosmos. Where do you see yourself in that picture? Do you hold yourself as lower than the beings that are mentoring you? Because surely you are all equal, you are all the same. It's just that they happen to be in a different state of energy. That does not make them any more wise than you. It's just right now you're in a state of awareness that may not remember everything you've ever been through or done, but it certainly doesn't mean that there's any differentiation in the value of who you are, who your soul is, and what you are capable of. So we're going to spend some time bringing that into the fold. And then we're going to move down into the sacral chakra. And in the sacral chakra, we're going to release ancestral relationships and imbalances of power. So oftentimes during healing sessions, what will happen is that we'll enter into the sacral chakra area where we can connect with ancestral energies. And remember that ancestral energies can come not just from your current ancestral genetic line, but it also includes all of the different lifetimes that you've ever lived. and all of those genetic lines. It also includes the people that you are close to energetically who are part of your soul family. And it includes earth spirits and other spirits that you're connected to. So it's really a vast group of beings, but the commonality between all of these beings is that you have experience with them in some way, or you have some sort of close energetic field relationship to them in some way. And so oftentimes this is where there will be a more massive release or reintegration of new relationships, new ways of doing things altogether. So we definitely want to spend some time there because our relationship to power has many different layers to it. And I don't know if each of you have had any experiences this past few weeks that you can really think back on. If you can't think of anything right now, trust me, there is something, and perhaps it'll come forward while you are in meditation. Let me see if there's anything else the guides wanted to share with you about that. They really want to emphasize, and this is something they were bringing up to me earlier before we started, that the Earth's journey that she's going through right now is really a microcosm of the macrocosm of what's happening in the galaxy. And that Earth is a representation. And she's always told me, and my guides have always told me that she's a very special being. And I never understood exactly why that is. I mean, I knew she's wonderful and amazing and beautiful, but I never knew why the node. They always told me that the node of Earth, where she is in the galaxy, and the energy that she holds and that she connects to, is very, very important. And they've explained to me recently that her journey of moving from duality back to oneness is the same journey that many, many, many beings are going through, many planets, many, many solar systems are going through around our entire galaxy. And even beyond that, that energy waves out into the whole other galaxies and the whole universe. So, especially though in our galaxy, which is enormous. So first, it's on the individual level with all of the beings upon her body, and then it expands out to the whole solar system, to all the planets that are in orbit around our sun. And then it moves out to our neighbors and other planetary systems around other suns, such as Sirius B, has a large influence and always had a large influence on Earth and the energy that comes here. And of course, the Boots constellation, where Arcturus is, the Pleiades, many different star systems that we are connected to, that we have relationship with, that Earth is in close sister brother relationship with. Then we have the greater galactic center. So Earth is influencing events in all of these different places, in all of these different planetary systems. That is the importance of Earth's journey right now. That is the importance of your journey right now. So, what is happening to you, although it is at a teeny, teeny, teeny microscopic level compared to the whole solar system or even the whole galaxy, it is still important because it is the collection of all of us moving and changing our relationship to different our own personal power and becoming power filled, our process of becoming power filled and becoming attuned to our spirit helpers, to our heart frequency, and to the earth. That process and that amplification of that occurring in our body, in our cells, in our DNA, is the process that tips the scale and accelerates Earth's evolution. And because she herself is such a large, massive energy body and creates such an enormous wave of experience throughout the universe, even though, excuse me, the galaxy, even though she is moving from a seemingly lower dimension into a higher dimension, and some of the other suns and solar systems and planetary systems are already in higher dimensions, it doesn't mean that in those higher dimensions, they aren't still grappling with some facets of duality. They are not still having issues with different beings from different parts of their solar systems that are still operating in a non heart centered way. So we still see this. And the reason I got to this information was because I was asking, you know, in my explorations with my own star family and with my own ET relatives, I've understood that there are still a lot of things going on in the galaxy that are not beneficial, that are not necessarily all heart-centered, right? That they're not all expansive. So they're still operating in duality. There's still beings operating duality. And one might ask the question of why? Why is this allowed to occur when there are so many beings of such a higher frequency? And why don't they have the capacity to smooth that all out and allow things to fast forward or to, you know, discontinue allowing Earth, for example, to be enslaved in certain ways, discontinue the relationship or the power struggle that we have with some of these beings. Why would that be allowed to occur? And I don't know if for any of you that have been following what has happened to humanity since 13,000 years ago, you may have asked yourself that same question. So not only we know about the edicts not to interfere with our progress and that we're all going to get there eventually and all of that, that yes, that is true, but it's also true that this process of our evolution, this time, it's every time that we go through this process, it's another opportunity for Earth to really ascend and make this massive leap. And it does feel like from every time I've connected to Earth and every time I've connected to my star families that we are over that hump and that we are moving in that direction of Earth accelerating and picking up speed and things really changing on this planet for the first time massively in 13,000 years. That's a really, really big deal, and it's a really big deal about Earth changing in her frequency and increasing so much, and so this is not the time to ignore Earth. This is the time to really, really, really spend more time with her. This is the time to really spend more time with your soul and get your head clear and get out of your head, and into your heart, because I think that we've as healers, a lot of us have been saying that for many years, but this is where the rubber meets the road. This is the time to make a daily practice out of it. And if you aren't doing it daily already, absolutely start doing it daily. Sit outside, connect to earth, make sure that you are in good relationship with her and sending her your love and allowing her energy to reflect back to you and fill you up with that same love, and do the same with your heart and do the same with your love for the cosmos. And it does pay off tremendously. It will smooth things out for you. It will make things go easier during this time of rapid change. It's really the only way, I think, to get through this time that we're going through in a smooth and easy way. So, would any of you, or do any of you have any questions? I was about to say, would any of you like to ask me any questions? If you do, there is the chat window there, and you can pop a question into the chat. And otherwise, I'm going to get started on our meditation together so we can really settle into some lovely energy together and make this nice connection here. Okay, I'll give you guys just a minute. Um, And also, if anyone wants to share anything in the chat as well. Okay, great. Thanks. Hi, Sylvia. Um, all right. It looks like there aren't any questions right now. Let's go ahead and get into our juicy meditation, which is always fun and a wonderful way to share energy with each other. So, ah, Nadia, you asked a good question about how climate change figures into this. That is a good question. So, climate change, I think, is the right way to say it as opposed to just heating up, because some areas, like where I live, is actually cooling down. It's not heating up. It's been very cold this past year and is continuing to be 10, at least 10 degrees colder than usual this whole month. So, change is the operative word there. And what we will see with the continuation of Earth's frequency changing is that when her body changes, just like any change you might make, there's going to be disruptions that occur. And those disruptions are going to, as she acclimates to each new level of energy that she goes through, her body is morphing and changing. And so the weather patterns that might have been stuck before are going to shift. I also think that there's been some, from what I've gotten from my guides, is that there's been some manipulation of the weather patterns by different governmental groups that, and this is not necessarily a nefarious thing, it's more that they are experimenting with trying to combat global warming. Because I think that's the definitely the party line with the government is that the planet is heating up, and that's it is heating up in many ways. We know that the ice caps are melting. Um, and we know that all of the human activities are accelerating that, but it's not heating up everywhere. It's very what feels like it's to me is that we're gonna have a continuation of some sporadic and erratic weather, and that's probably gonna continue for the next 5 to 7 years, and then I think things are gonna level off a bit, but while we go through this, big change right now. So we are now in 2023, so by 2030, things are gonna be pretty different around here. The consciousness of humans has a pretty massive effect on the weather as well. And if you have ever done any weather shamanism or played around with meditating, expanding your energy field, and working with energy spirits or programming the weather around you, that's something that you can start to play with because as Earth's frequency increases, so does ours. And as our frequency increases, we become more capable of interacting with weather and the energies of the planet in general, and it becomes more of a collaborative effort versus just having the weather happen to us. So I would really encourage each of you to spend time understanding your relationship to the different weather spirits. I mean, that's a shamanic way to address it, I think, but you can just think of it as energies as well. But spend some time experimenting with that and see what happens because in these higher frequencies, really our thought patterns and our intentions carry a lot of weight and they make a lot of shifts. Um, so let's see. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Transparent media truth. Let's see. Like the earth is going through menopause. I love it. It is kind of like the earth is going through menopause, the big change. Yes, but she's so young. To Earth is very young and fresh and free. I feel like she's just young. She's got a new leash on life. To me, she feels more like a 12-year-old or an adolescent. You know, she's only 4.5 billion years old. I mean, come on. She's got billions of years left in hers. So she's really not very old for her lifetime. And I feel like she's got this exuberance right now and this amplification of her energy field that feels absolutely joyful as well. It's not all bad. And I hope that I haven't conveyed that what we're going through is going to be all difficult because honestly, when you have those three connections within your body, there is a tremendous amount of joy that fills you. And despite what might be going on in the world around you, that bifurcation process is real and it is in full effect. So if you're connecting into those higher frequencies and tracking with earth, you're going to feel a tremendous surge of joy in your body. You're going to feel your heart expand and your day is going to really go a lot better. So, um, that's why we're doing this. And the solstice is such a good time to do it together because it really amplifies the process. Okay, so let's get going. 1 second. I'm just going to shut this door here. My doggies like to open it and then they bark. All right. So let's close our eyes. And we're going to start by connecting to our inner world by breathing deeply in through the nose and taking the breath all the way down to the belly, really filling yourself up with that beautiful energy of the breath. and then releasing out through the mouth and exhaling everything that no longer serves, exhaling out anything that you're ready to release. And again, breathing these nice, long, luxurious breaths. And each one begins to relax your body and connects you to your soul spirit. You feel your body begin to respond to the breath by relaxing, softening, and releasing. Spend a moment to allow your jaw to relax and just drop a little bit. Allow your cheeks to relax and drop a little bit. Imagine the skin on your skull even relaxing and dropping a little bit, and all of your muscles of your face. We hold so much energy in our face. And then follow that down your neck, allowing your neck to relax. Moving outward to the shoulders. Continuing to breathe nice deep breaths. Moving down through the body, letting your belly relax. Your hips, your legs, all the way down to your feet. And now see roots flowing down from the soles of your feet down into the earth, connecting you to Mother Earth's energy. And also see roots flowing down from your lower chakras and down into the earth, anchoring you into Earth's body. And watch those roots as they descend through her being, flowing through her energy field, connecting. And just imagine an incredible frequency of love unfurling from your heart and down through your chakras and down through your legs and into the earth. All of your appreciation for Earth, all of the wonder, the awe you have for her and all that she is, all that she does, just allowing that to unfurl, to roll down through your roots, moving into her body, sharing that love, that gratitude for her. As that energy is received by her, it creates a union of connection between the two of you. The energy builds within her and begins cycling and spiraling back up and moving back towards your body, amplified with her energy, her appreciation for your awareness of her, her love for you as part of her body, as a cell of her being. And that energy flows up into you, flows up through your feet, it flows up through your chakras. It rises up through the legs, it rises along the spine. It moves up through the body and into the head and down through the arms to the fingertips. And your whole being is filled with her loving light. It is blue, it is vibrant, it is strong, and it brings your body into a state of equilibrium and balance. And you remember this state. This is the state you arrived in as a spark of intention, as a spark of beingness from the cosmos. You arrived. Your soul inhabited this beautiful physical being that you are now. And your soul and its journey and its sharing even of your physical body is in perfect harmony and equilibrium with the earth. As you breathe, place your hands upon your heart. And now breathe directly into your heart. And as you do, take a moment to acknowledge the energy of your soul. It flows through this chakra. It arrives in energy, merging perfectly with your corporeal self through this energy system of the heart. And we send our soul so much gratitude and love. We are one, but at times we forget or we feel separate, but we are one. Your soul is you, you are your soul. The more gratitude, the more connection you feel, the more abundance of love you will embody within you. And now allow your awareness to float upwards and connect and shine upwards into the cosmos, to send your appreciation, your gratitude to the sun and all of the millions of suns beyond it, to the whole system of energy that is our galaxy, to the whole system of energy that is all that is. You share your appreciation for this entire system. Our beautiful sun giving us light, giving us life, making it possible for all of the beings on earth to thrive, for our food to grow, for our cells, our mitochondria to create energy, for all of the plants to photosynthesize. None of it is possible without the sun. The sun brings us that fatherly wisdom. The earth embodies us with the motherly wisdom. Your soul, the perfect union of the two to create the trinity of the three. The reflection of each embodied into form as you are. Take another nice deep breath. And now we will enter into the areas of our brain behind the prefrontal cortex. We're going to bring energy in from above. We're going to draw energy up from below. And we're going to receive energy from both sides of the head. So, if you can imagine the golden mean spiral, it is the spiral that is similar to the nautilus shell spirals in shape. Imagine yourself upon that spiral, your consciousness, and moving deeper and deeper into the area of your brain, traveling along that spiral, moving deeply into the energy system in this space behind the prefrontal cortex and in front of the pineal. And as you move your awareness into this space in the brain, we're going to bring in energy and expansion from above. A beautiful white blue light begins to stream into your brain, moving down and through this energy center. From below, a beautiful ray of green light flows upwards from the earth and into this area of the brain. And from the sides, 2 rays of golden light come and move into this area of the brain. All 3 of the frequencies of these different streams of light merging perfectly within the center in the brain. Breathe deeply as that energy flows through you. This area of the brain connects directly with the 11th strand of DNA to bring in a new structure, a new relationship to you, to the cosmos, a new relationship to you, to your soul energy, to you, to the earth. It brings in a restructuring of owning and understanding, embodying your power as a being in your own right that, mm, that is here to serve as witness, here to serve as companion, here to serve as participant in this great unfolding, this great galactic story. You remember, you are, you always have been. Good. Deep breath. Release anything that is ready to let go. And now, as your consciousness settles into that area of the brain, we're going to slowly allow our awareness to flow downwards, gently and slowly down through the brain, down below. Now you're inside the body, you're inside the face, and you're flowing, your awareness is flowing downward and moving down into the jaw, moving down into the throat, slowly moving through the larynx. Remembering to breathe as you go, just taking your time, continuing your journey downward into the upper chest, the clavicles, flowing down bit by bit, moving towards the heart. And then as you approach the heart, flowing into the chambers of the heart, into the center, and allowing your energy to rest there in the center and to move deeper into this chakra and this energy field. We're going to again use the spiral, the golden mean spiral, and allow that code of geometry to allow us to flow into the space more deeply. Breathe into your heart. Breathe into the knowing of yourself as a loving being, a being that is aware of yourself as one who is directed from, who is embodiment of the heart frequency. So it is the heart frequency that directs your actions, which is the same as saying that your soul is directing your actions, because the soul will always choose the heart path for action, for thought, for feeling. And so as we move into and stay cozily within the chambers of the heart, we're going to bring light in, and we're going to bring golden light in, and this light is going to come from every possible direction, as if you were inside of a sphere, and that sphere is receiving light from every direction upon it, behind you, in front of you, to the sides of you, on the diagonals, every angle. every infinitesimal bit of that sphere is filled with golden light, and it's a beautiful golden pink hue within the sphere, inside this beautiful space that you're in. And while the DNA that is going to become restructured will definitely be the eighth strand, there's also going to be quite a bit of energy and activation in the seventh and fourth strands as well. The seventh strand connects us into that divine aspect of ourselves, knowing ourselves in that way. But the fourth strand is a really interesting place too. This is going to be our first foray into owning our abilities as sovereign beings and all of the aftershocks of being a sovereign being, all of the benefits and yet also the responsibility of being a sovereign being. That all happens through the fourth strand. The fourth strand is our relationship to owning ourselves as divine beings, as understanding our true capabilities as humans, carriers of this magnificent magical DNA that we are. And it is the seventh and also the eighth that we will also be connecting to. So as you receive this light, it begins flowing into every cell of your heart, penetrating the DNA, lighting up that DNA, moving through every nook and cranny. I'm watching that light move through every bit of every cell, and you can imagine this as well. Good. And just continue to allow yourself to bathe in this golden pink light. And as you experience this energy, it begins to expand out from the chambers of the heart and it begins to expand out into the whole being. moving in every direction. And that flow of light coming in begins to also flow outward so that all that benefit that you've just received begins to amplify and move outward from your being, sharing the energy, the memory, the knowing of yourself as sovereign, as free, as a being of light, as a being of love, that all of that flows out of you and becomes your signature imprint, becomes your energetic calling card as you move through the world. Your whole body embodying this light. Just feel how that feels in your body and feel the difference from before you started. And feel what this connection feels like, and know that you can always come back to this place. It is waiting for you. Your soul is always there waiting for that deeper connection and for the amplification of the relationship between the two of you. The return to love. Good, nice deep breath. And now we continue our journey down from the chamber of the heart. And then we watch as our awareness slowly flows down from the heart. And if it's easiest for you, imagine this in a sphere. That's, I think, an easy way to do it. And just watch as it flows down through the body in the midsection between the ribs, slowly flowing through the solar plexus area, moving down to the area of the belly button, moving down to connect into the sacral region. And your awareness now inside the sacral region. And again, we bring the spiral into play to deepen the connection and to open up this portal. These spirals are like keys that open doorways in energy fields. And we open up this channel to allow for the release of any pent-up energy that might have been pushing in upon you from your ancestors. Any fear, any misunderstanding, any imbalances in the relationship of your ancestors to their own power, their own personal power. It's a very personal process we're going through this month in this solstice, but it is far-reaching. So allowing them to come forward to share their story, to share their energy in this moment. It does not hurt you or injure you. In fact, it's quite a relief to allow them to flow forward and to release their energy. And we ask that all ancestors who come forward at this time do so from their place of love, to let go of their fear and to step into the space for this healing. And we call on them to come as a vehicle of compassion, as a vehicle of peace. Good. Yeah, feel that shift there. We're going to bring in, it's very interesting. We're going to be bringing in some energy from the earth chakra. And the earth chakra, also called the Om chakra, as I know it, is below the sacral chakra, sort of behind it. It's in between the root and the sacral, and it is alive and well within all of you, and it's been receiving a lot of energy from Earth's new energy field. And right now, we are going to be touching in upon this second chakra as well as in the sacral, because it's the earth energy that is going to remind each and every one of our ancestors of their collaboration with her energy, the joy in being part of her journey, and the beautiful expansion that is occurring right now that they get to also be part of. So many times our ancestors and our own soul experiences in form have been in moments of duality or in moments of pain or a lack of liberation, a lack of sovereignty. And this is what we release from this group now. And this release, it looks like a dark brown, deep red, dark brown color, this release that is occurring. And so there's this magnetism of deep, dark red brown color that is below these two chakras. And it is magnetizing downward into the earth to release all of that trauma from your soul connections in energy, from your soul connections in form. All of your ancestral energy is just getting magnetized down right now in this powerful, powerful, dark red brown light that is coming from the earth. And she has the ability to clear like never before. Now that her power has increased, that her frequency has increased, she does so effortlessly. She draws away that trauma and reveals beautiful white crystalline Christed energy in her stead. So as she pulls that down, it's instantaneous. It is like the moment of recognition, the moment of memory of knowing oneself as free, as part of the grid of Christed consciousness, of all awareness, of all that is. It is the immediate and instant elevation of the frequency within, because there's not this lower base field dragging one back or holding one back from their own sovereignty. So this is a really wonderful way to release and giving it up and letting it go. And we give permission for our ancestors to do this release. We give ourselves permission to release any old structures and patterns of power in which there's an imbalance, in which we are not able in our belief system to embody our own power, in which we are now ready to create that field of crystalline light, to make that embodiment, to allow that to happen, I should say, to really allow that to occur. So I'm just going to continue to let that process go. So keep breathing and watching that process in all of you in our beautiful group here, and that connection, and seeing more and more of that crystalline light coming, more and more amplification of that crystalline light. Good. Ni no ishte, ni no ishte not. He no no ishte, ni ishte. He la 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 na 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 na. He na 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 na. He na 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 na. He on the he sign of the infinity, flowing energy throughout your whole being now. With this release, with these activations, it brings the whole being, the whole energy field into an amplified state of joy, an amplified state of heart frequency, an amplified state of awareness through the brain, through the heart, through the sacral chakra. Energy flowing equally throughout your whole being, moving through the waves and the balance of the infinity sign flowing through you, the energy flowing through you in this beautiful figure eight pattern. Perfectly balanced between each end. Good. At the center of that equilibrium, at the center of that figure eight, a disc forms and begins spreading outward in either direction. And this is an energy disc. This is the representation of your heart field, and it is expanding outward and moving into the space, creating a wider, a broader energy field around you. That disc is spinning and expanding. It's at least 55 feet outward from the center of your being, from the center of your heart, and moving outward. Feeling your energy now settling, grounding into the earth, grounding into your body, feeling stable, feeling coherent with the field around you, and becoming coherent with the energies that match and reflect these high frequency wave patterns that you are emitting. Good. Continue to breathe in a relaxed way, but deeply, and allowing your body to fully connect and release anything, continuing to release anything that is still moving through the body, letting go, feeling that oneness, that connection to the environment, knowing that this is your prime state of being. This is how you arrived as a soul and how you will depart. This is your attunement to self, attunement to cosmos, and attunement to earth. And the merging of those three creates the perfect geometry within you for your continued expansion and evolution to your highest potential and the highest potential of Earth and all beings of all worlds in our galaxy. Mhm. And with that, I thank all of the spirit beings who participated with us today, for all of you to be here with us today. Remain in this lovely, serene state as long as you wish. Revisit these places often to keep yourself in this balance and this harmony. Big love to all of you, big hugs, and I will connect again with you in the coming weeks. Bye for now.